Eli Walker never believed that one mistake could rewrite his whole fate. He was only supposed to scan the alien starship for damaged systems, nothing else. His mission was simple, and he followed orders with care. The ship belonged to the Vora, a warrior race known for strict honor and ancient traditions. They had invited the human crew to study their technology. Scientists from Earth trusted the Vora, but Eli always felt a quiet tension under their calm voices and perfect discipline. When Eli entered the long metal hallway, he heard a soft alarm whisper through the air. It was not loud enough to signal danger, more like a warning that something was offline. He checked his scanner and followed the signal until he reached a round door. The scanner showed energy dropping fast on the other side. He thought it was a normal system failure. He believed he could fix it in minutes. So he opened the door without waiting for approval. The moment he stepped inside, he froze. The air felt warm, soft, almost alive. Light from the ceiling changed to a deep silver glow. Eli lifted his scanner and then dropped it as his mind locked in shock. He was not alone. In the center of the room stood Kara, a tall Vora female warrior. Strong shoulders, dark blue skin that shimmered like metal under the silver lights. She was without her armor, without any covering. Her eyes widened. Her breath caught in her chest. For a second the universe stopped. Eli blinked twice. His heart hammered in his ears. He turned away at once, trying to look anywhere except at her. Kara did not move. Her voice broke the silence like a blade. "Human, what have you done?" Eli raised his hands in panic. "I did not know the room was occupied. I am sorry. I did not see anything. I swear I will leave now." Kara stepped back. Her expression was not anger. It was fear, real fear. Something Eli never expected from a warrior who could crush him with one hand. She whispered with a trembling voice, "You saw me bear. According to ancient law, both of us are condemned unless one thing happens." Eli stared in confusion. "Condemned for what? I did not mean harm. I only walked in by mistake." She looked at the door as heavy steps echoed outside. Guards, many guards. Kara grabbed Eli's arm with sudden force. Her fingers were strong and warm. She moved him behind a large pillar as the door started to open again. "Human, listen carefully. The ancient law states that if a foreigner sees a Vora warrior in their uncovered state, then both must die to restore honor. Unless they bond as life partners, the law is absolute. The council will not show mercy. If they see you here, they will kill you. Then they will kill me." Eli felt cold fear crawl down his spine. That cannot be real. No one would die for an accident. Kara shook her head. "On your world maybe not, but on mine honor is life. They will not care about your intent. They will only care about the law. Now be silent." The door burst open. 2 armored Vora guards entered and scanned the room. Eli held his breath. Kara pressed him deeper behind the pillar. Her heart beat fast. The guards spoke in sharp tones. They know the protective seal was opened. They know someone entered. Eli heard one guard say that the council had already issued a capture order. Kara whispered, "They think someone broke our purity rule. They do not know it was you yet. If they find you here, there will be no discussion. Only death." The guards checked the room and finally left. The moment the door closed, Kara pulled Eli toward a hidden exit panel. He stumbled after her, still trying to understand what nightmare he had stepped into. "Why are you helping me? If your law says we both must die, then why not turn me in?" Kara stopped. For a brief moment, her voice dropped to a softer tone. "Because I do not follow blind orders. And I will not let the council decide my fate or yours. Not today. Now move. If we stay this close to the main corridors, we are finished." She opened the exit panel. A narrow tunnel stretched into darkness. Eli looked back at the room. One wrong door. One wrong moment. And now his life no longer belonged to him alone. Kara entered the tunnel first. Her sharp voice echoed back to him. Human, if you want to live, stay close to me. From this moment forward, your fate and mine are linked. Eli followed her into the darkness. The door shut behind them, and the hunt began. Eli followed Kara through the narrow tunnel, with each step echoing like a warning. The air grew cooler as they moved deeper into the hidden passage. The ship around them hummed with a low vibration that felt almost alive. Eli had never been inside the secret parts of an alien vessel, and now he wished he never had. All he wanted was to repair a small energy leak. Instead, he had walked into a cultural disaster that could end his life and the life of the alien warrior now pulling him forward. Kara moved with fast and controlled steps. Her breathing was steady, but Eli saw tension in the way her shoulders tightened. She was afraid. A warrior who feared nothing was afraid now, and that told Eli everything he needed to know about the danger they were in. They reached a small round chamber hidden between the outer hull and the main corridors. Soft blue lights flickered along the walls. Kara placed her hand on a glowing panel. The doors slid shut behind them with a heavy click. Eli felt trapped inside a cage with a law he did not understand. Kara turned to him and examined his face. She seemed to study every part of him, as if she was trying to judge his strength, his courage, maybe even his worth. Listen, human, you must understand what just happened. My people were shaped by old traditions, older than your world history. The Vora believe that a warrior without armor is a soul without a shield. If anyone sees them in that state, it is seen as a deep break of trust. The law demands death to restore honor. Eli held his breath. That law is extreme. It is not fair. It was only an accident. Kara lowered her gaze for a moment. What is fair does not matter when a council of elders decides truth. They use old rules to control others. They choose what lives and what dies. They will not listen to your explanation. They will not listen to mine. They will only act. Eli moved closer and whispered, but you said there is one way to stop the death order. Something about a bond. Kara inhaled slowly. Her voice became low and heavy. Yes, the bond of vows. It joins two souls for life. It is rare and sacred. If we complete it, then the law protects both of us. The council cannot execute bonded partners. Eli stepped back in shock. You mean marriage, human-alien marriage? How is that even possible? Kara did not flinch. The bond is more than your human word for marriage. It is a life agreement that cannot be broken. Once spoken, the vow binds fate to fate. If one falls, the other falls. If one succeeds, the other rises. Eli shook his head. That sounds impossible. Extreme. I do not know you. You do not know me. How can we accept such a thing? Kara looked at him with calm strength. That is why the law exists. It forces two beings to trust each other after a moment of great vulnerability. It was not meant for punishment. It was meant to create unity. But the council twisted it. Before Eli could respond, he heard the distant sound of metal boots marching. The echo traveled through the walls like thunder. Kara stiffened. They found the tunnel entrance. Kara moved to the chamber door and locked additional seals. Her voice sharpened. We have little time. The hunters will search every access point. They will not stop until they find us. Eli felt panic rising in his chest. He pressed his hands against the wall, trying to find stability. What do we do now? Can we hide? Can I contact my crew? Kara shook her head. Your human team cannot help you. The council will block all communication. If they discover you are missing, they will be told you were escorted for questioning. By the time they learn the truth, it will be too late. Eli closed his eyes. His mind raced through every possible plan. Nothing made sense. Nothing offered safety. He looked at Kara again. Her eyes carried a fierce glow that reminded him she was not just a warrior. She was someone ready to fight for both of them. Kara stepped closer, her voice softened. I know this is hard for you. I did not expect my day to end like this either. But we now share a fate, whether we choose it or not. Eli met her gaze. So what do we do? Kara pressed her hand to another panel. A hidden floor hatch opened. Inside was a narrow drop leading deeper into the ship. Down there is a safe outpost, a place even the council fears to search. We reach it, we plan. Then we decide if the bond is our only choice. Boots thundered again, louder, closer. Kara extended her hand. Human, if you want to live, take my hand now. Eli hesitated for only one breath before gripping her hand. Together they stepped into the darkness below. The door closed above them, and the hunt continued in silence. Eli dropped through the dark passage with Kara close behind him. The slide ended in a soft layer of dust that smelled like old metal and cold air. The hidden lower decks of the Vora starship were nothing like the bright upper corridors. Down here the lights were weak, and the walls were covered in old symbols that looked carved by hand. Eli stood up and brushed dust off his jacket. Kara landed beside him with the grace of a trained fighter. She scanned the area with sharp eyes. This place is forgotten by most of my people. No one comes here unless they know how the ship was built during the First War. The council avoids it because they fear the memories it holds. Eli looked around. Why would a council fear memories? Kara rested her hand on the faded symbols. Because truth is dangerous to those who live through lies. Before he could ask more, she motioned for him to follow. They walked through a wide tunnel. The floor hummed under their steps like a sleeping beast. Eli felt the weight of the ship above them. He imagined hunters tracking their trail. He pictured armored Vora warriors breaking down walls just to drag him back to judgment. His stomach twisted, but he kept moving. After several minutes, the tunnel opened into a chamber filled with soft blue light. In the center stood an old console that looked half broken. Kara tapped a series of symbols. A hidden door opened with a deep thud. The smell of warm air rushed out. They entered a room shaped like a small nest. Beds made of thick fabric. Shelves stacked with supplies. A map carved into the wall. Someone had lived here once. Someone who prepared for danger. Kara checked every corner, then turned to Eli. We are safe for now. No trackers reach this deep. The metal around this outpost blocks all scans. Even the council cannot see through it. Eli sat on one of the beds. His legs trembled. He had been running since the moment he opened that cursed door. He looked at Kara. Her face was calm, yet her eyes showed the weight of her own fears. Tell me everything. I need to understand why the council wants you gone. Kara sat across from him. Her voice carried a mix of strength and pain. I was born into a powerful family. My mother was a council leader. My father was a commander. They wanted me to join the Vora Path of Purity, a political group that controls tradition. They use old laws to keep power. I refused them. I wanted to fight for change. Not fear, not control. Eli listened closely. So rejecting them made you a threat? Kara nodded slowly. Yes, they waited for a mistake. Something they could twist. Something they could use to remove me. When you walked into that chamber without knowing the rule, you handed them the weapon they needed. They will not let this go. Not until both of us are gone. Eli felt a heavy guilt pressing on his chest. I never meant to cause trouble for you. I just followed a signal. I thought the room was empty. Kara shook her head. You did nothing wrong. Our laws are old and harsh. The blame is not yours. The blame is on those who cling to the past because they fear the future. Eli leaned forward. Then we need a plan. Running forever will not work. If they want us dead, then we need a way to stop them. Kara looked at the map on the wall. There is one option. The Bond of Vows. If we complete it, The council cannot touch us. The law protects. Bonded partners. It gives us equal standing with the elders. Even my enemies cannot break that rule. Eli breathed deeply. So our choices are bond for life or face execution. Kara did not look away. Yes, those are the paths before us. Eli stood up and paced the room. He never planned a future with anyone. And now he was being asked to consider a bond with an alien warrior he had met only hours ago. But he also saw the fear in her eyes. She did not want this life any more than he did. Yet she was willing to fight for both of them. He stopped pacing. What does the bond involve? Do we say vows? Perform a ritual. Kara approached the wall and touched a glowing symbol. A hidden compartment opened, revealing a round crystal that pulsed with soft white light. She held it with reverence. The ceremony binds energy. It links our life force. It is spoken under the witness crystal. Once we speak the final vow, the bond cannot be undone. And if one of us breaks it, the other dies. Eli stared at the crystal. His heart pounded in his chest. That is too much. Too fast. Too final. Kara placed the crystal back into the wall. I know. That is why we must decide with clear minds. But do not take too long. The hunters will reach this level soon. Eli sat down again and covered his face with his hands. His world had shattered. His future was uncertain. Yet Kara placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. A gesture that surprised him. Human. No matter what choice you make, we will face it together. For now, rest. We need strength for what comes next. Eli nodded. He did not know what the next hours would bring. All he knew was this: he was no longer alone. And the fight for survival had only begun. The outpost felt quiet, but the silence carried danger. Eli sat on the edge of the bed while Kara checked her weapons with quick and steady movements. She was calm, yet every muscle in her body was ready for battle. Eli watched her with growing respect. She was not only strong but sharp and thoughtful. She knew the council's next moves before they happened. Eli wished he had even half of her confidence. Kara touched the wall panel to darken the lights. Soft shadows stretched across the room. Hunters of the Vora are trained to track any sound. We must stay silent and ready. They are already searching the upper decks. Soon they will come down to the lower levels. Their orders will be simple. Capture or kill. Eli swallowed hard. How many hunters are there? Kara looked at him with a steady gaze. Enough to overwhelm us if we face them in the open. But we have something they do not. Knowledge of the older ship paths. These tunnels were built during the First War to allow escape from the main deck. The council avoids them because they do not want others to learn the truth about our history. Eli rose to his feet. Then we use that advantage. Tell me what I must do. A small smile touched Kara's face. She admired how quickly the human shifted from fear to action. We move as one. No running ahead. No distractions. And if we meet a hunter, you must stay behind me. Their armor can cut through steel. You are not trained for that. Eli felt a rush of determination. I will not slow you down. I promise. Before Kara could respond, a faint vibration shook the floor. The air changed, almost like the ship was holding its breath. Kara stepped to the doorway and listened. Her eyes narrowed. The hunters have reached the lower corridors. She moved fast, grabbing a blade and a small shield generator. She tossed the generator to Eli. Press the center if you are attacked. It will form a short energy shield around you. It will not last long, so use it only if needed. Eli strapped it to his arm. His hands trembled, but he kept his voice steady. Let us go. Kara opened the hidden exit and stepped into the narrow hallway. The air outside felt colder than before. Eli followed close behind. Every shadow seemed alive. Every sound felt like claws scratching metal. His heart pounded, but he kept walking. They moved through a winding path carved into the old hull. The walls were covered in worn symbols that told stories of ancient battles and lost warriors. Eli wished he could study them in peace, but the danger around them pushed away every curious thought. Then a sudden metallic roar echoed through the chamber behind them. Kara spun around and grabbed Eli's arm. "Run now." Eli did not question her. They sprinted down the corridor as heavy footsteps thundered toward them. The hunters were fast, faster than any human soldier. Shadows twisted in the blue light, and Ellie caught a glimpse of a tall, armored figure rushing forward with glowing markings across its chest. Kara turned sharply into a side tunnel, pulling Eli with her. The hunters slammed into the wall where they had stood just seconds earlier. The force cracked the metal. Eli stumbled but regained balance as Kara kept pulling him forward. The tunnel narrowed until they reached a platform overlooking a deep drop. Heat rose from the darkness below like the breath of a giant machine. Eli stared at the fall with wide eyes. Kara pointed to a narrow beam stretching across the gap. "We cross here. Move slow. Do not look down." Eli stepped onto the beam. His legs shook. The drop felt endless. Kara stepped behind him, ready to catch him if he slipped. They reached the other side just as the hunter entered the chamber behind them. Its heavy boots shook the beam. Kara pushed Eli toward another tunnel. "Go. I will delay it." Eli grabbed her wrist. "You cannot fight that thing alone." Kara looked into his eyes. Her voice was deep and fierce. "I am Vora. I was born to face danger. If I fall, the hunters will still target you. Keep moving. Trust me." Eli hesitated, but her grip tightened. She pushed him forward. As he ran, he heard the clash of metal. Kara struck the hunter with swift and powerful moves. Sparks filled the air. Eli wanted to turn back, but he remembered her words. "Trust me." He reached the next chamber where the ceiling opened into a large dome filled with glowing pillars. He hid behind one of them and waited. His breath came in sharp bursts. The silence felt heavier than any noise. Then Kara appeared at the entrance. She limped slightly, but she was alive. Her blade dripped with energy. A faint smile formed on her lips. "You kept moving. Good." Eli rushed to her side. "Are you hurt? Only scratched?" "The hunter will not chase us again." Eli felt relief wash over him. Kara survived. He survived. But he knew this was far from over. Kara placed her hand on his shoulder. "The council will send more. They will not stop. We cannot run forever. Soon we must make our choice." Eli nodded. He understood. The bond or death. And the darkness around them whispered the truth. Time was running out. The dome chamber glowed with shifting blue light that danced across the tall crystal pillars. The air felt strangely calm compared to the chaos behind them. Eli helped Kara sit on a low stone bench carved into the wall. She winced when he touched her arm, but she forced a small smile. Her strength amazed him. She had faced a hunter alone and survived. That alone proved she was no ordinary warrior. Eli knelt in front of her and examined a deep slash across her side. "You said it was only a scratch. This is not a scratch. This is serious." Kara breathed slowly through the pain. "If I say scratch, then it is a scratch. I am Vora. My body heals faster than yours." Eli shook his head. "Pain is still pain. Let me help." He opened a small emergency kit he found earlier and pressed an antiseptic patch to the wound. Kara flinched but did not pull away. When the bleeding stopped, she looked at him with quiet surprise. "You treat me like one of your own people." Eli met her eyes. "Because you protected me like one of yours." For a moment the chamber felt warmer. Something unspoken passed between them. A connection born from danger and trust. But it lasted only a heartbeat, because distant metal echoes broke the silence. Kara stood quickly, though her body trembled. "We have no time to rest. The hunters will regroup. They will track us again. We must reach the binding site. It is where the ceremony can begin." Eli looked around the glowing dome. Is this not the site? Kara shook her head. No, this chamber powers the crystal network. The binding site lies beyond the inner corridor. It is older, it is sacred. If we reach it, we can start the vow. But once started, then be finished before the moon cycle resets. If anything interrupts it, the bond fails. And the law remains. Eli understood the meaning. If the ceremony fails, they both die. Kara led the way through a narrow opening in the back of the dome. The corridor was filled with violet mist that swirled around their feet. Strange symbols lined the walls. The deeper they went, the older the ship felt. Almost like they were walking through history itself. After several minutes, the corridor opened into a round chamber with a raised stone platform in the center. Above the platform hung a glowing white crystal. It floated in silence. Its light felt alive. Its shape pulsed like a slow heartbeat. Kara approached it with deep respect. This is the witness crystal. It hears the vow. It seals the bond. Once we speak under it, no force can break our connection. Eli stepped closer. His chest tightened with nerves. So this is where we choose. This is where our lives change forever. Kara looked at him with calm eyes. The choice is not easy. But it is the only path that keeps us alive. Once we speak the vow, we share all challenges ahead. If one of us rises, the other rises. If one of us falls, the other falls. Eli breathed deeply. He felt fear, but also something stronger. A strange sense of purpose. He had never imagined his life taking such a turn, but something inside him told him that running would no longer work. Standing beside Kara felt right. Kara stepped onto the platform. Eli followed. They faced each other. The witness crystal brightened as if sensing their presence. Kara lifted her hand. The first vow binds trust. It asks if you accept me as your shield and strength. Eli opened his mouth to speak, but the ground shook violently. A blast roared through the corridor. Kara spun around with a fierce glare. No, they found us. The chamber door exploded inward. 3 hunters charged into the room. Their armor glowed with red markings. Their blades hummed with deadly energy. Kara moved in front of Eli. Stay behind me. Eli activated the small shield generator she had given him earlier. A thin blue field formed around his arm. His heart raced. The hunters advanced with heavy steps. Kara drew her blade, but she was still wounded. Her movements were strong yet slower than before. She blocked the first hunter, but the impact forced her back. Eli wanted to help, but he knew he would only be a distraction. Another hunter jumped onto the platform. Its blade slashed toward Kara. Eli shouted, "Watch out!" Kara dodged and countered with a powerful strike that smashed the hunter to the ground. But the second hunter hit her from the side, and she stumbled. Eli rushed forward and slammed the shield into the hunter's chest. The energy burst sent it backward. His arm burned from the force, but he stayed standing. Kara glanced at him with a spark of pride. Good strike, human. Before they could regroup, a loud roar shook the chamber. A towering hunter entered. Larger than the others, stronger. Its armor carried the symbol of the council. Eli froze. Kara whispered, "That is a Dune Warden. A leader of hunters. If it is here, then the council wants us dead before the vow is completed." The warden raised its massive blade. Eli felt the air vibrate with its power. Kara stepped forward with fierce resolve. "We finish the vow, or we die here." Eli nodded. His fear turned into steel. Together, they faced the warden as the witness crystal glowed brighter overhead. The ceremony had begun, but survival was far from certain. The Doom Warden stood in the entrance, like a living wall of armor and fury. Its eyes glowed with cold fire. It lifted its heavy blade and pointed it toward Kara with a voice that rumbled through the chamber. "Kara of the Vora, you have broken the sacred law. Surrender the human, and you may receive a quick death." Kara tightened her grip on her weapon. Her wounds burned, but her spirit did not bend. I will not surrender. The law you obey is twisted. The council hides truth. They use old rules to control our people through fear. The warden stepped forward. Lies. The law is pure. The council protects our honor. Before Kara could answer, another voice echoed through the chamber. A calm yet powerful voice that felt older than the walls themselves. The statement is false. The law you defend was never created for violence. A figure stepped out from behind one of the crystal pillars. Eli stared with wide eyes. It was an elder Vora. His skin was silver and lined with glowing marks. His cloak was torn and aged. His steps were slow, but his presence was strong. Kara gasped softly. Master Rael, you are alive. The warden turned with a thunderous snarl. You dare speak here, old traitor. You vanished years ago. You were declared dead. Master Rael lifted a small device in his hand. Light poured from it and formed a moving image in the air. The hologram showed ancient Vora leaders standing in a circle. Their voices filled the chamber. The vow is for unity. The law protects those who become bonded. It shall never be used to punish or destroy. Eli looked at Kara. That is the real meaning of the law. Kara nodded slowly. Yes, this is the truth the council feared. If our people knew this, their control would crumble. The warden roared and charged forward. Kara moved too. Block, but the elder raised his hand. A shockwave burst from the ground and slammed the warden back into the chamber wall. The hunters fell as well. Master Rael turned to Kara with urgency. You must finish the vow. The witness crystal waits. Share the final truth with your people through the bond. Once it is complete, the council will lose all power to judge you. Kara stepped toward Eli. Her expression was steady, but her eyes carried deep emotion. Eli, this is our moment. If we complete the vow, we become partners of life. If we fail, the council will kill us. And if we hesitate, the hunters will strike again. Eli looked at the witness crystal. Its glow pulsed like a heartbeat calling to him. He thought of how far he had come. He thought of Kara's strength, her courage, the way she risked everything to save him. He stepped onto the platform beside her. Tell me what to say. Kara lifted both hands toward the crystal. Speak after me. The vow must flow with one voice. The crystal must hear unity. She began. I stand beside you with open truth. I offer trust in darkness and in light. Eli repeated the words with steady breath. The crystal brightened. Kara continued. I share my fate, my strength, my path. I choose life joined over life lost. Eli followed. The chamber trembled as the crystal's glow spread across the walls. The warden rose to its feet in rage. It charged again with a deafening roar. Kara turned to face it, but Master Rael blocked her way. Finish the vow. I will protect you. Eli's heart pounded. Kara spoke the final words. With this vow we bind our spirits. No law, no blade, no fear. We'll break our bond. Eli repeated the final vow. As the last word left his lips, the witness crystal exploded with pure white light that washed through the entire chamber. The force knocked hunters to the floor. The warden cried out as his armor cracked from the power. Master Rael shielded his eyes. When the light faded, Eli felt a warm pulse in his chest. A strong, steady energy that moved in time with his breath. Kara felt it too. She placed a hand over her heart. The bond is complete. We are linked. Life too. Life. The warden tried to rise again, but its strength faded. The vow had stripped away the authority the council claimed. Master Rael stepped toward the fallen creature. The law protects them now. Your council has no power here. Eli looked at Kara. She looked at him. Something new connected them. Not only survival, not only fear, but a bond carved by truth and choice. Kara spoke softly. The vow is done. Now we must reveal this truth to our people. The council will fall, and the hunt will end. But in the shadows outside the chamber, another figure watched in silence. A council messenger. Eyes cold, voice low. The bond is made, but the war is only beginning. Eli felt the new energy inside him like a second heartbeat. The bond with Kara was real. It was alive. It pulsed with strength he had never known. Kara felt the same power flowing through her. It steadied her breath and lifted her spirit as if a new fire had been lit inside her chest. The witness crystal dimmed, but the glow in their eyes grew brighter. They were no longer two beings running from death. They were one force moving toward destiny. Master Real stepped forward. His old voice carried wisdom and warning. The vow is complete. The law now protects you. But the council will not accept this loss. They will fight to hold their power. You must bring the truth to the people before the council twists story. Eli nodded. His fear had transformed into determination. He was no longer a lost human trapped in an alien law. He was the bonded partner of a Vora warrior, a partner standing between life and death, between truth and corruption. Kara moved toward the exit of the chamber. Her steps were stronger now despite her wounds. The bond gave her strength. She turned to Eli and extended her hand. Our path forward begins now. Are you ready? Human Eli reached for her hand without hesitation. We started this together. We finish it together. They followed Master Real through a hidden stairway that led upward toward the central hall of the starship. The air grew heavier as they climbed. A deep tension filled the halls. The council had felt the power of the vow. They knew something had changed. When they reached the main hall, the massive doors slid open. Inside stood dozens of Vora warriors. Some carried weapons. Others carried confusion. At the front stood Counselor Varax. His armor gleamed with sharp lines. His eyes burned with anger. Varax raised his voice so all could hear. Kara of the Vora, you defy us. You perform a forbidden ceremony with an outsider. You break sacred law. Kara stepped forward with firm strength. The law was never forbidden. You twisted it. You used fear to rule. The vow I made today restored. The truth you tried to bury. Varax pointed at Eli with disgust. A human cannot carry our bond. He cannot stand equal to a Vora. He is a weakness. A danger. Eli stepped forward before Kara could answer. His voice rose clear and strong. I may be human, but I faced your hunters. I survived your laws, and I chose the vow with full heart. If honor is your path, then honor what your ancestors created. Honor the truth. Master Real activated the ancient device once more. The hologram of the old leaders appeared above the hall. Their voices filled the air. The bond exists for unity, for peace between beings. It shall never be twisted toward death or fear. Gasps echoed across the hall. Warriors looked at one another. Doubt spread across their faces. Everything they believed about the law was now shaken. Varax shouted in fury. Lies, tricks. This human and this traitor elder have twisted your minds. Guards seized them, but no guard moved. One young warrior stepped forward. He looked at Kara. His voice was quiet yet strong. Counselor, the vow protects her. The crystal confirmed it. Even you cannot deny that. Others nodded. A wave of support grew. The council was losing control. Truth was rising. Varax lifted his blade. If no one will obey, then I will end this with my own hand. He rushed toward Eli. Kara moved faster. The bond boosted her speed. She blocked the strike with a powerful blow that shook the floor. Eli felt her strength through the bond. It guided his movement. He activated his shield and struck Varax from the side. The hit sent the counselor crashing into the wall. The hall fell silent. Varax lay on the ground defeated. Kara stood tall. Eli stood beside her. Master Real lifted his voice. The council is broken. The truth stands. Let the Vora choose a new path, one of unity and strength. One not ruled by fear. The warriors bowed their heads. The shift of power was complete. Kara turned to Eli. Her voice softened. Our lives were supposed to end today, but now a new future begins. Not only for us, but for my people. Eli smiled. And for humanity. Together we changed everything. Master Real touched the witness crystal and it glowed once more. A symbol of a new era. An era born from one accident. One choice. One bond. Kara tightened her hand around Eli's. The bond was not chains, it was freedom. A bridge between two worlds. Eli looked at the stars through the high window and whispered, "Human for the win." Kara smiled with pride. Yes, and Vora beside him. And so began a new chapter where courage and truth defeated fear. Where a human and a warrior forged a bond strong enough to change an entire galaxy.